Most people think they're unhappy because life is hard, but that's not actually the reason, is it? The real reason is your entire life is built around the wrong center. And the worst part is you don't even realize it. Everyone has something in their life that controls their emotions, something that controls their mind. When that thing happens, when that thing changes, they change. When people think happiness is random, people think happiness is achieved by your tasks, people think happiness is achieved by your success. But no, your happiness is achieved by one thing, and that is your center, your life center. Your life center is basically the thing which controls your life. That can be anything. That can be your parents, that can be your relationship, that can be your school, anything which you center your life about, anything which you'll work hard about, anything which you're addicted to, we could say. And this is the thing, your life isn't random, your happiness isn't random, your happiness, it's centered to what you choose, it's centered to the center you decide. That center can be stable, that center can be unstable, that center can be joyful, that center can be sad, that center can be anything. But every single person has a center. For example, I'm gonna explain in this video three life centers, three common life centers, and why because of these centers you are not happy, why because of these centers you struggle and you work hard but you feel incomplete, you feel broken, you feel sad, and sometimes you might even go into depression. I'm gonna explain three life centers, big, and I'm gonna explain three life centers which cause you sadness, and which are the reason why you don't have happiness. First of all, we have the parent centered life. Every single child, every single son, every single daughter, every single child, they want clarification, they want validation from their parents, they want self-worth, they want their parents to celebrate for them, they want their parents to support them. And that's okay, that's important. But this can be dangerous as well. You see, validation from parents can ruin your conception of self-worth. If everything you focus everything on your parents, if you focus that you need to get good grades so your parents can feel pride, you need to do this task so your parents can be happy about you, you need to do this task so your parents feel happy and they support you. Your parents' happiness, not your happiness, your parents' happiness starts to become your own happiness. Your parents' happiness starts to become your own self worth. And now that is not good because parents, they'll get used to you doing good stuff. For example, you used to, at the start you were a C grade student. For example, let's take this example that right now you're a C grade student, every single grade you get C. Your parents have given up on you, you lose hope. But one movie you saw about the validation and the self-worth about parents and stuff, and that inspired you. And then you got B grades, they were really happy. Then you got A grades, and they were really really happy. Then you got A grades again, they were happy. You got A grades again, they were happy. But after 3 4 times of getting A grade, they it becomes normal. Now whenever you get A grades but one B grade, like B plus in maths, they'll start criticizing you that why didn't you get a A plus in maths? Because getting A's normally has become normal. Your self-worth has tied to the validation of parents, and that is not good. Being parent centered means good mood depends on their validation, depends on their approval. And when you're sad, whenever you disappoint them, you're sad whenever they're not happy. And that's the bad thing. Bad grades cause panic. You get criticism from your parents, and that causes an emotional crash, an emotional crisis, and there's more pressure. If your parents become your center, then their emotions will control your life forever, like dictatorship. You stop living your life. You start living their expectations, and sometimes their expectations are those things which might not cause you happiness. Another self-centered, education-centered. Now this is very common, and especially in regions like India and China and Asia, where grades are your identity, where your life center, anything you care about is education. And now this is bad as well. Let me explain. Education centered life. This means your grades become your life. Okay, your grades become like a grading of what you are. A plus means you're good, B means you're average, C means you're a bad person. You start confusing your grades and your exams for and your tests for your self evaluation, which they are not. They're only evaluation of your knowledge, but you start thinking them as your own evaluation. Exams start to feel like self worth tests. Failures feel like personal failures, like I am a bad person or I don't deserve to live or anything like that. For example, low score starts feeling like I'm dumb, I'm stupid. Let's say, for example, one week you have a test, not an exam, not anything else, just one test, like a little test of science, let's say, or your science test. But your dad or your mom got really sick, so your attention diverted to that area. Okay, you started no your attention went away from your exams and they went to your mom or your dad or taking care of them. And then after that you couldn't work hard enough, you couldn't, let's say, you couldn't study, you couldn't do anything, let's say, you couldn't do anything helpful, big this, you couldn't study. And because of that you got like a B in maths, I'm sorry, a B in science, a B in science, and then you start thinking, I'm dumb, I'm stupid, I'm an idiot, or stuff like that. You start lowering your self-esteem. And that's wrong. That's bad because you got bad scores you didn't have time because your mom got sick, not because you're dumb, not because you're stupid. And because of this confusion, it causes pressure, it causes anxiety, and that just removes your happiness, that just removes the joy out of your life. Because school was never designed to test your words. School was never designed to test how good of a person are you or if you're dumb or not. It was designed to check your knowledge. But most people let school design your worth. And when education becomes your center, learning turns into fear. Your life becomes a living hell. Third and final center. This is very common in Europe and America. Relationship centers. Girlfriend boyfriend issues, and making them your emotional centers. This is basically your mood depends on your relationship. Your text, whatever text you receive, whatever replies you receive, obsession, jealousy, they will torture you from your entire life. For example, imagine you like this girl at school, okay? You like this girl at school and you ask you're a bit shy, so you ask your best friend to tell her. But when your best friend and her often start talking, in reality, your best friend is start trying to get you and her or you and him on a date. But since they're talking so often, your mind becomes a living hell. Your mind becomes you start torturing yourself. They're talking so much. What if they both are flirting? They're talking so much. What if they're getting into a relationship instead of me? And your entire thoughts start becoming of her or him. You can't focus. You can't focus on your studies. You can't focus on things that matter. Things are important. Since your entire life starts becoming focused on your boyfriend or girlfriend, and that tortures you, that ruins your life. Now I'm not saying that all I said, this parents, education, relationship, these are not important. I'm not saying that. These are very important, but these do not deserve to be your center. Since, have you noticed, in every single one of these centers they're unstable. Parents moods are unstable, your relationship can become unstable due to arguments and stuff, your education is unstable, you lose time and various things happen, you might get different grades. Every one of these centers is unstable, and since your life revolves around these, you become unstable too. Now that's the real problem. All the centers that can break instantly. They are unstable. Anything you don't control will eventually control you. And remember this: anything you cannot control, anything you won't control, it will eventually control you. It will take control of you. It will take control of your personality, your happiness, and everything. Now one there is one center which I'm gonna tell you, which is very good. One center. Now there are many centers which are really good. There are many centers which you can center your life around. And that's for you. That's for you to discover. That's for you to check where you center your life. That's for you to discover what fits you. That's for you to discover everything. But one center of life I'm going to give it to you as an example. It's a principle centered life. A principle centered life. Principles. What are some common principles? Discipline, self respect, growth, honesty, respect, consistency, kindness. Now, these are the principles. You can center your life around them. Because in this, you don't depend on others. These principles, they don't disappear, and because of these principles you can survive failure because of your principles. You have probably heard somewhere, I'm a man of principles, and people who say that either they're lying or they're very happy. For example, bad grades, you get a bad grades. You normally, if you're education centered, you'll become unstable, have an emotional crisis or something. But in a principle centered life, you follow the principle of self respect, follow the principle of self esteem, self value, and discipline. And because of these principles, you know that, okay, you messed up once, but you know that you aren't a bad person. You know you aren't dumb because of self respect, and you discipline yourself. You discipline yourself to get better grades. That's the good thing. And another thing, you break up with your girlfriend slash boyfriend, and you're still stable. You're still stable because the principle of viewing things. You view the situation, you see what happened, you'll improve yourself. The thing I'm saying is principle centered life. It is not the only centered life which can help you, but it is one of the biggest, one of the best centered life which can heavily improve your life, because most people aren't unhappy because life is unfair. They're unhappy because they built their life on fake things, fake centers that are unstable and can break. And anything that can break will eventually break. Anything that can happen will happen. I know that from the Interstellar movie. So the final idea is, the question isn't what happens to you, it's what your life is built around and how you will handle what happens to you. Because you can't handle your life. No one can. Life is unfair. Life will beat you around. Life will push you around. Life will tug you around. You can't control everything in life, but you can control what controls you, and you can control how you react. And what I'm trying to say is, choose your center carefully because it decides everything. Make sure to subscribe and turn on notification bell so you can always know when I post stuff like this.